Hey, Obinna, good to see you. You look so worried. Is everything all right? I'm having serious issues in my company. Balancing the interests of my company's many stakeholders like shareholders, management, customers, financiers, government, and community is giving us a problem. That has to do with corporate governance. Exactly. Then you need to get in touch with ICSAN.
ICSAN?
Yeah, Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. ICSAN. They provide you with seasoned and top-ranking professionals trained to uphold the standards of corporate governance and efficient operations. You can also get in touch with
ICSAN.
If you want to become a Chartered Secretary and Administrator, contact
ICSAN
by visiting the website
www.icsan.org
or call 009 06 601 69.
ICSAN,
the hub of governance professionals.
Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to another insightful moment with the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. Welcome to Corporate Governance Platform on Echo 89.7 FM. My name is Olabisi Omidire. Today on ICSAN, Corporate Governance Platform, we are looking at highlights and corporate governance implication of the new Cama Act 2020. And joining us to dissect the issue is Mr. ROTIMI ODUSOLA, Company Secretary, Legal Director, GUINNESS Nigeria PLC, and member, Conference and AGM Committee, ICSAN. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, and I'm pleased to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Also, ever ready to give information is Mr. Kayode Ketefe, ACIS, the Head of Research. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, DC. Our dear listeners, good morning to you all.
All right. Stay here as we start in earnest. Mr. ODUSOLA on the show this morning. The new Cama Act has just been signed into law by the President after 30 years. The Cama 1990 was made. Do you think the former act was so superb and pragmatically adequate that an amendment of it was unnecessary for whopping 30 years?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way. I think that that we've waited 30 years before we have a new legislation on Companies and Allied Matters Act is not. It's almost like an indictment on our lawmaking process in the country. Legislations have not always, been dynamic enough to catch up with the changing situations in the world. And in the world of business, in this particular case. So I don't think it's about the adequacy of the previous act. Rather, I think it's about, it emphasizes the importance of making our laws be more relevant to contemporary situations. But nonetheless, the new act is here now, and we're pleased. We're really, really pleased that it is here.
That's good to know. Now, what are the major highlights of these new corporate law?
Many major highlights. Because it's been such a long time, we've had a revision to the law. There have been many things that required attention, which the old law didn't quite take, care of. So if I'm to start reeling out these major highlights.
Okay, maybe we just pick some of it.
Okay, yes. So allow me to, emphasize, and especially because we're talking about corporate governance and ICSAN being the foremost professional association that emphasizes the importance of corporate governance, I'm actually going to be focusing more on the new innovations that are relevant to corporate governance. So I'm going to say, for example, in this new Cama Act 2020, it's no longer permitted for the same person to occupy the position of chairman as well as chief executive officer of a company. That's important for corporate governance. The provisions of the new Cama Act also is primarily focused on the ease of doing business agenda of this present administration. And it's introduced so many innovations that makes it easier for small businesses and even large businesses to conduct their business in a manner that is easier than what it used to be. So, for example, on the subject of shareholding, you no longer have to pay, for a registration of shares, as it used to be. You simply pay on the specific shares that are issued in the company at the time that the company is incorporated. You also can do a lot of your filings now without having to physically visit the offices of the Corporate Affairs Commission, dotted all over the country. And that's even important in the context of the current situation we have with the COVID-19 pandemic, which means that, safe distancing can be, observed. The general meetings of private companies can now be held virtually. Sadly, this hasn't been extended to public companies, but I think we'll get there at some point. And then also there are exemptions for certain things that private companies need to do or not do, such as auditing, such as having a company secretary mandatorily appointed.
All right. So let's look at the protection of companies and organizations. Are there any provisions in the new Cama that tend to protect companies and organizations against the kinds of crises unleashed on the world by COVID-19 pandemic?
Absolutely. The provisions of the new Cama that, for example, recognizes electronic signing, that recognizes that you don't have to visit the offices of the Corporate Affairs Commission in order to transact a lot of the businesses that you transact with them, recognizes the need for social distancing, apart from making business easier. It means that we limit the potential for this pandemic to spread amongst our people. And then also, in compliance with, the modern technological capabilities and developments, the new Cama now provides that electronic signature is deemed to satisfy the requirements of signing, and that the register of transfers shall also include electronic registers.
Okay. So moving ahead, are there any demerits to any of the innovations brought about by the Cama 2020?
Well, demerits, look, I think in responding to that, I first want to say that at the moment, this law hasn't been gazetted. So there are versions of it that are, in circulation. I would have loved for us to have the gazetted copy simultaneously with the assent to the law by the president. However, demerits, I've heard argument about provisions of, the new Cama, making it not mandatory for certain companies that are defined as small companies with, say, for example, less than 120 million naira, annual turnover, not to have company secretaries appointed. I personally don't consider that to be a demerit, although the arguments are in that, are going on back and forth on that. I think what it's done rather is to create opportunities for professionals to be more creative in their thinking and think about what other value-adding services can we provide to these small companies? Because with the new innovation, there will be a lot more of these small companies. It's easier to set up these companies now. So what it means is that the pool of potential clients that professionals such as lawyers have has been enlarged because the law makes it easier now to set up businesses. So rather than focus on, small companies not having to have company secretaries, which in practice I don't think they were doing anyway, rather, why don't you focus on what are the services that you can provide to these now many, small companies that will now be incorporated and therefore expand the opportunities that are available to you as a professional.
All right. I most appreciate your thought pattern, Mr. ROTIMI ODUSOLA, Company Secretary, Legal Director, GUINNESS Nigeria PLC, and a member Conference and AGM Committee, ICSAN. Moving ahead now down to Mr. Kayode Ketefe, ACIS, Head of Research. I'm sure you have some announcement for the team in public.
Thank you very much, BC. Please listen to the following announcements. ICSAN training on capital market. We wish to inform our numerous stakeholders and members of the public generally that a new training is coming up in the ICSAN online training series. The training has the theme Understanding of the Capital Market from the Lenses of Governance Practitioners. Understanding the capital market from the lenses of governance practitioners. It is a 2-day training slated to hold between September 8 to 9, 2020. Time is 10 a.m. The training will hold online on Zoom platform. The training aims at providing participants with an in-depth understanding of the workings, key drivers, players, and features of the capital market. It will beam searchlight on capital market mechanics as well as examining broad dimension of financial instruments and their underlying dynamics. The 2-day course will also highlight prevailing developments in the sector and show how shareholders can take advantage of the opportunities available in the market. The keynote speaker is no other person than the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Oscar Onyema OON. Other assistant facilitators have been lined up to add insightful perspective to the discourse. These are General Counsel and Company Secretary, Ghana Nigeria Unilever PLCs, Mrs. Abidemi Ademola FCIS, the Executive Commissioner Operations, Security and Exchange Commission, Mr. Dayo Obiso, the Head, Market Surveillance, Nigeria Stock Exchange, Mr. Abimbola Babalola, and the last but not the least, the Head, Enterprise Innovation Hub, Nigeria Stock Exchange, Mr. Nsekak John. Participation fee for this course is as follows. ICSAN members and employees of listed companies, 40,000 naira. Non-members, 50,000 naira. Please register now for this training and take advantage of this unique opportunity to overhaul your knowledge on capital market affairs. For more information on this, please call Oyeniyi on 080-6152-4764. Oyeniyi on 080-6152-4764. Thank you. This second announcement is on the ICSAN 2020 second diet examination. This is to inform all our students and other interested stakeholders that the registration for the December 2020 diet examination of the Institute has started and it will close on October 31st, 2020. Lecture for the said December diet will commence on Friday, August 28, 2020. Let me also use this opportunity to remind everyone that registration as a student of the Institute is different from registration for any particular examination diet. Registration as a student of the Institute is an ongoing thing, so you can register to be a student at any point in time. For further details on this, please call 080-90-660-169. Thank you and have a nice day.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. Kayode Ketefe, ACIS, the Head of Research, ICSAN. And today on the show, we took a look at highlights and corporate governance implication of the new Cama Act 2020. Our guest was Mr. ROTIMI ODUSOLA, Company Secretary, Legal Director, Guinness Nigeria PLC, and member, Conference and AGM Committee, ICSAN. Do join us same time next week on the station on Corporate Governance Platform, a program sponsored by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. My name is Olabisi Omidiri. Thank you again for coming.